Okay, guys, so today I am creating a dish. It's started out supposed to be chicken tetrazzini. I made it for my coworkers. One of my coworkers that was leaving our job. He got a new job, and so we gave him a going away dinner. Well, I made chicken tetrazzini, and it just became a big hit at work because I didn't do the ordinary chicken tetrazzini. So I made it again at home, posted it on Facebook, and it just became a big sensation. So um, today I am making it for another coworker. He wants it for his family. And so I call this one Chicken-twist-a-zinni because it has a bit of a twist in it. It has turkey sausage. And I made it for, I am a dispatcher at work, and I made it for my operators because they always work so hard and they do anything I ask them to do without, well, I ain't gonna say without fussing, but they do it. So I made them the meal, and again it was a big hit. So one of my good friends I grew up with, we went to high school, elementary school together, everything. He posted, he said, well, dang, I didn't get mine. So I took him some what I had left, and as you can see today, I'm making it again for the third time this week. So it's become a big hit. I'm gonna put some butter in the pan along with my turkey sausage to saute them because you want to give it a taste. I had one young lady say when I made it, she ate it straight out. It was hot. I took it to them hot. I even delivered it for them. I bought a little dishes to put it in and everything, because I really appreciate them because we work together, but also I am their immediate supervisor when it comes to street. They are my coworkers, and I don't like to think that I'm above them. We're all equal, so I treat them as such. But I love them so much that I cook for them, and that's just how it goes sometimes. In order to get good work, you have to be a good moderator, a good you have to be able to moderate and remember that this is a job, but you're above no one. You're not above. You may be a pay grade above them, but you're not above them in life. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But however, so now I'm dicing up the turkey sausage. Everybody loved it with the turkey sausage in it. When I did mine, I only had chicken, and as you can see, boiling the chicken. I boil it until it falls apart, until it's like shreddable. So I pull it apart like I'm doing a pulled pork. And I do a pulled pork, I put it in the crock pot and I let it cook until it's very, very tender. Then I just take a fork and I pull it apart. And that's how I make my pulled pork. And I make a sauce to go on it. And you wouldn't believe I make a tequila sauce to go on it. So, yeah, that's that. But this is what I'm doing today. And I just thought that I would share it with YouTube land. And then I'm taking the sausage. I take cut about 4 circles of them. Then I cut them in half. and then split them in fours. And I never tell anyone what seasonings to use because everybody don't buy the same thing. Seasonings are very expensive to purchase. I am a seasoning freak. I have so many different seasonings until it's crazy. But I use all sorts of things. I have a chicken seasoning. I have an all-purpose seasoning. I have so many seasonings. I have a honey rub. I have a bourbon rub. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, when I see something new, I pretty much get it. And I literally shop in the ethnic aisle because they have the best seasonings in Walmart. Or either Kroger. If you have a Kroger near you, then look in the ethnic aisle and then you can find your Caribbean seasonings. They have a Jamaican seasoning for oxtails. They have the brown stew. I mean, I have all kind of stuff. So I never tell anyone to purchase the seasonings I use because you never know. Somebody may have high blood pressure or maybe a diabetic and they can't use that. So I just always tell season to your liking. But one thing I do not compromise on is this. I have to have this. This is a must. So I'm going to lightly sprinkle that. And this. I always keep this. This is my favorite. This is one of the go-to. You can use this and not need anything else because it brings out the flavor in the food. And normally I have a bigger bottle, but I sent my husband to the store and this is what he came back with, knowing that I use this all the time. This is one of my go-to. It's Saison. It's by Bada. This is one of my favorites. And then I will use that to cook down my sausage. And again, like I said, I have thousands of seasonings. Like, I bought this the other day. Like, it's crazy. Then I got this one. Then I got this one. You know, like, this is what I used to season the chicken with. Then I told you I had a bourbon one. See? I mean, don't compromise on this either. I forgot to put this in there. And this is the island season I was telling you about, Mojo. I mean, I can go on and on. This is my honey rub. This is my chicken rub. I mean, I have seasons galore. It's ridiculous. This is the brown stew. Like, all these, I spend a lot of money on seasonings, but that's why I never tell anyone what to season their food with, because you may not like what I'm using, and you may have a taste that you're looking for that I did not tell you about. So, just, you know, season to your liking. That's what I say. Okay, so we're gonna let that cook a little bit more. And I have it on like medium, but I'm gonna turn it up because I want it to get a little crunchiness on it. I want to get it like a brown glaze or so. So, washing my knife off, and I'm trying to clean as I go, so I don't have a lot to do once I'm done prepping. So now I'm going to get ready to make the sauce for this. Okay. cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, and I mix these together. So I got my spatula because I like to get every little piece of cream of mushroom and cream of chicken out of the can. Isn't that funny? But yeah, now my sausage has a little golden crust to it a little bit. So, well, you know what, turkey, it doesn't take much, but you can see. Okay. And I'm going to turn it off. So that is one sausage, one whole pack of sausage that I diced. I cut and I diced, and I cut it in halves and then in fours. That way, it'll spread throughout the entire meal. And you know, once you put it in there, all of them are not going to stay together. So it gives you a little bit more. You have the chicken and the sausage. Okay. So now I want to check my chicken and see how it's coming along. Okay, so it's almost at the point where it's separating and getting like it's gonna come apart, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so see here how the grains of the chicken are lifting. We want it to lift just a little bit more, so we're gonna leave it in there for a few more minutes so it can finish separating. So when I pull it, it's stringy, and that way it'll, you know, I can separate it and distribute it through the meal. So give it a few more minutes. It's almost there, so it shouldn't take that long. By the time I mix this sauce up, it should be ready to come out for me to shred it. Okay. Get all that out. I guess y'all say she went from hair to cooking, but I like to cook, and I love doing hair, so I can incorporate a little bit of everything. You can tell my classmate he got the less sodium because it's a little bit watery. I'm sorry, it's watery because they took out some of the sodium. But the regular one, the one with the sodium, it is thicker. It's not as loose, but however, it'll get salty again. Once it gets in the stuff, you won't be able to taste the difference. So yeah, you're gonna open up both cream of mushrooms and just break them down in here, and we're gonna mix them together. And it's probably better that you did get the sodium free, less sodium, because the seasonings that I use may have a lot of salt in them, so I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be all natural. But I highly doubt that. Okay, so we're gonna mix this together. Okay, then with that, I'm gonna add in the cheese. And again, Kroger, I keep saying Kroger brand, but everybody don't have a Kroger, so store brand is just as good. And that's Parmesan, queso, quesadilla cheese, and sharp cheddar. So I'm gonna put half of this in here. The other half is for toppings. But I use mostly more than a half of the Parmesan cheese because it turns into a great sauce with this cream of chicken and stuff. And then this queso cheese makes it even better. It's like hallelujah, hallelujah. So now we got that mixed. Then I'm gonna add my chopped spinach. Just gonna take this knife here and open it. So you kind of want to incorporate all the stuff, the wet ingredients. I say wet ingredients, but I mean like the spinach, stuff like that. You want to kind of mix it together because the first time I did it, I didn't do this, and it was so tedious trying to add spinach and cheese and then the sauce. And then the light bulb came on and say, Sonia, just mix it all together. So that's what I'm doing. And it just makes easier to do. And that's how it looks. So we have that done. We'll move that out of the way. And we're finna work this chicken. Okay? Finna do this chicken. Okay, so now I'm going to take the chicken out. I advise people to wait until the chicken is cool, but I don't. I just go on to get 2 forks and pull it apart because I'm impatient when it comes to making this, because to me it seems like it already takes a long time to do it because I have to wait for the chicken to boil. So yeah, that's ready. Okay, so with that being said, with my water from my chicken, guess what I do, people? I take my noodles and I break them up in there, and they didn't have the noodles that I use. All they had was Muller, but I use Barilla, these. And I use these because they get al dente really quick, and I like that. And I'm going to show you how the noodles should look, because you don't want them to cook too much because you have to bake them. So you don't want them to cook too much. And then Barilla noodles are a little bit thinner than this. And I just love them because they just, oh gosh, I just can't say enough about those. Here I am advertising again, freely. But it's all good, because this is what I use. So if you want to know what I use, then I'm telling you. Then I break them in half. Because trial and error will make you learn. The first time I did it, I did them long, and it was just too much. So it's easier to break them up. But when I make my spaghetti, I leave them whole. I don't like broken noodles for spaghetti. I like the long noodles. Okay, I'll trash that. Okay, so now I'm gonna start pulling apart this chicken. And all I'm doing is taking the fork just like this and pulling it apart. That's it. See? Just want to pull it apart, just like pulled pork. How pulled pork should look. And if the chicken is not cooked enough, it's going to be a little bit tougher to pull apart. So I did not let it cook. It's done, but it's just not how I like it. But it still, again, it still has to go in the oven. So this is good. And then it's hot. So sometimes when it's real hot, it doesn't pull apart like I need it to because it is hot. And these are chicken breasts, but yesterday when I made it for my lady co-workers, I used chicken parts. So I had dark meat and white meat. But the chicken breast is so much easier to use. And I also, when I make chicken salad, I use chicken breast. I boil it the same way, pull it apart, and make chicken salad. As you can tell, I love chicken. Okay, so I'm about finished pulling this chicken apart, and the funny thing about it is the guy who I'm making this for, his cousin wants the same dish on Sunday. Lord Jesus, I'm gonna be tired of making this, but it is what it is. I'll make it for her. I have so many different dishes that I have created that I make, and I post pictures of it, and people be like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. It was in my head. I just made it. Never thought to put it on YouTube. So now, because I was YouTube scared, shy, as you can say. So let's check on our noodles. So this is about how we want them, but just like 2 more minutes. Just 2 more minutes on these noodles. And we're going to take them out. Then you can just start pulling it apart. They're big chunks. Just pull it apart. Because it's cooling off now because it's not so big. So yep, you can pull it apart with the hands. You just want to get enough where it's distributed evenly through the meal. And this makes a big old lasagna pan, a deep dish pan, with the noodles and everything. It fills it up. It's actually a lot because you're using double. Well, I normally use 1 pack of noodles and you splitting it in half. It makes a lot of it, so you'll see. It'll be full. I think it's more than enough for a family of 5. A family of 4. With the 3 of us, my daughter went away to college, so don't have anybody to feed but 3 people now. So when I make this, it's left over for about 2 days until my 16-year-old son. If anybody has a son, you know what's left after that until he gets a hold of it. And then he'll eat it for 2 days, and the first day he's eating it about 3 to 4 times until it's just about gone, and the next day it's just enough for him again. So, which is funny to me. So now I'm adding my noodles. And then if you use the same water that you cook your chicken in, it gives the noodles flavor. And what I noticed is, and I did this, I wasn't putting any butter on it for the noodles so they can stay kind of wet or whatever, or won't stick that bad while I'm trying to work with them, because they were sticking. So just add little chunks of butter on it. And then you want to layer. Put your sausage. But I do want to get these noodles out of here because I don't want them to overcook. So I'm going to take these out. It looks like I may need a little bit more noodles. So I do use a pack and a half, so that's what I'm missing. I didn't put the half in there. And you want to get your oven started, and you want to set it to 400, because you want it to, even though the stuff is cooked, you have sauce that needs to heat up, and then you have cheese. That needs to heat up and cook. So okay. There's always some more down there. So I'm going to add this little half in here. The difference between the noodles, these are a little bit thinner. Okay, so now you're going to add a layer of Alfredo. Just not much, because you got to add your other stuff. And then stir, because you want it to mix. Yeah. I promise I will show you guys once I get it in here so you can see it, but it's kind of hard to hold the thing and pour and stir. So I don't have any help today. No one's here to help me. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my next step, putting my noodles. And I just grab it. I don't have to use, because it's not hot anymore. Okay, so now you want to start adding your cheese in the second layer. Okay, here we go again. And you don't have to just use spinach. You can use broccoli. You can use whatever you want. You can even make it a vegetarian style with a twist, ziti with a twist, tetrazzini with a twist. You don't have to call it chicken. I did a seafood one. It had the shrimp, the crab in it, and I made it the same way. The only difference is I had shrimp and crab. And it was really good. I mean, the family enjoyed it. They really did. They enjoyed it. So it's up to you. The possibilities of making this is just your creativity. I mean, you don't have to make it the same way I made it. It's just that I made it and everybody liked it. So I ended up posting the recipe on Facebook, and it just was a big hit because everybody was talking about it. So, but if you know how to make lasagna, you know how to make this. I mean, it ain't really nothing special. It's just more so the seasonings I use versus what somebody else would use, you know? That's all. That is it. Cooking comes from your creativity with basically what's in your taste buds. Because one of my girlfriends, she said she don't know how to cook. And I said, well, if you can make banana pudding, you can cook. And she said, well, I don't, but it's what you like. That's all cooking is what you like. Not what anybody else like. As long as it's edible to you, then you're good. You know, if it's tolerable for you to eat, then somebody else will eat it too. Because when I moved out on my own, I was 21. I had my daughter. My mom, I'll never forget this. My mom said, "Oh, you'll be back home because you can't cook." I said, "Yes, I can." She said, "No, you can." I said, "Yes, I can." So the first Sunday that I moved into my apartment, I cooked and I invited her over. And I ain't gonna never forget, I made pork chops, macaroni and cheese, cabbage and rice, and cornbread. And she said, "Well, who came over here and cooked this?" I said, "Nobody. I cooked it myself." She said, "But you never cooked at home." I said, "Because you always cook. So why should I have to cook?" So she said, "Well, all this time you could cook and you never said anything." I said, "Why? Why should I have to? You always cook." So with that being said, I make my children help me cook, especially my son, because I don't want him to be a young man always dependent on a woman. So if you know how to cook, you can always eat. If it's from the simplest things as grilled cheese, ham and cheese sandwich, or something like that, as long as you know how to make it, you can get it. You can make it and work if you can cook. So it's so funny because he used to be into gaming, and I got so mad with him because he took up a cooking class. I wanted him to go into gaming because I said it's a very lucrative field. And he said, "But Mom, I always watch you cook. I want to learn. I want to cook." And I didn't want him to do that because I'm not saying that cooks don't make money, but I just wanted him to do something that he loved, not knowing that he loved watching me cook. Because I don't hate to cook, but if I don't have to cook, I'm not gonna cook. That's just point blank and period. But I have a husband that likes for me to cook, and I don't want to cook all the time. So this is coming up to my last part. I'm gonna now my oven is ready. Just as I am getting to my last layer. I'm sorry, guys. Oh. Okay. I don't think that would be all my noodles. Like I say, this will feed you until it's gone. It's deep, so. Literally, I just made this yesterday. It's like Groundhog Day. It keeps going and going and going and going. But when the price is right, you'll make it all day long. Okay. But I just decided to share with you guys. Okay, so this is the last of the cream sauce. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to add the rest of my chicken. Okay. The remaining of the turkey sausage. Just want to spread it out in different areas of the. And my last jar of Alfredo. So normally I make this from scratch, but it's so much easier using it in a jar, and this is a really good Alfredo. I was actually shocked that this was so good. This is the store brand, again, from Kroger. Hey Kroger, hit your girl up. The 4 cheese Alfredo sauce. Really, really, really good. Sometimes you can get some store stuff and it's not really good. So I was very pleased with that. And I was specific in saying make sure you get the 4 cheese Kroger brand Alfredo sauce, because that's what I use, that's what you ate, and if you want it like I had it, that's what I use. Okay, so now I'm incorporating this in here into the pan, and we're gonna top it off with the rest of the cheese. And this Parmesan and Alfredo sauce mixed together makes for a great cheesy sauce. All my queso is gone, so but that's more important that it's down to the bottom. And then you don't have to put a lot of cheese on it because it has cheese throughout the meal, so you don't need a lot of cheese. But because I need more, I have backup from yesterday. And the cheese that I had was great value. Because I love Walmart too. Walmart, hit your girl up. Sending shouts out. But their queso cheese is yellow, so I guess it's supposed to be organic. I had some sharp cheddar from them. It was organic and it was $1. I couldn't believe it. Organic cheese for $1. I was so happy. So we have all that in there. And we're gonna pop this booger in the oven and let it do what it do. And I'm gonna show you guys how it looks. That's what it looks like. Okay. So we'll be back once it's done. Okay, so we're back at the oven. And this is what it looks like.
That's for us or your workers?
No. Somebody purchased this.
For a demo.
God.